A bacher asked me that for the past few years, when he stayed up all night for Shavuos, he makes the calculation that it takes him like 2 weeks to recuperate, and it's Yotzo Schori Befseidoi. So maybe he should sleep Shavuos night. So I'm not going to paskin, but there's a hargosha that I told him over. The Chidah and the Sfasemis and others explain that when the Malachim said that to know Oichal HaShamayim, keep the Torah in Shamayim, why did the Yidden deserve it? What they were really saying is that they deserve it because of Bar Metzvah. Because they're the neighbors. When you want to sell something or give something, the neighbor has first rights, first dibs. And they're in Shamayim. That was their taina. So what's the answer back? There are many ways to explain. But it could be, the pshat is that we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is saying that his relationship with Klal Yisrael, he's not just selling them a piece of real estate where they can say, oh, we come first, we're closer. It's a relationship of Bonim Atem Hashem Alekeichem, and of course, if a person wants to give to his son, the Bar Mitzvah can't come and say different. And it's also a marriage. There's a zivug between HaKadosh Baruch Hu and Klal Yisrael. The Mishnah says in Kedushin, Aisha Niknis, the Kesef, Bishtar, Ubiyah, this can be explained. Kesef is kisufim, a person has a desire and wants the connection with Hashem. Shtar is, of course, the document that you make it official. Bia means you want to be attached. You want to have a connection. So there's a marriage going on. Everyone knows the famous Kasha, the Beis HaLevi and others talk about Nasib and Ishma. How could we say Nasib and Ishma? We don't even know what's in it. It's a Davar She'enai Kotzuv. If you do what the Beis HaLevi says, because we became Avodim, and an Eved is a Shibud HaGuf, and he's Machayim himself. But the Chidah says no, it's because it's a marriage. And in a marriage, the commitment is total and without gvul, and therefore it's not negated to know what's involved in it. You're pushing, connecting to a marriage with the Rabbi Yerushalayim. And marriage is about ahava. Ahava mekalkelas es hashura. When someone's in love and there's ahava, then there's no cheshbonis. Why do you stay up all night Shavuos? Because after the Suda, you go to shul and you start learning. You're not tired, you're not thinking about anything else, and you're not making calculations of how much and when, I'll be tired later, next week. Right now, it's a bechina of Ava Mekalkelis Ashura. There's a beautiful story from the Or Sameach. I'll end with this. He was once learning with his chavrusa, very hard choices, they didn't know pshat. He told his chavrusa, let's daven for a few minutes, for Ava Satayra. He didn't say for Bina, for Chochma, for Havana Satayra. He said for Ava Satayra. And they asked for that, and they understood the Tosfos. He explained to his chavrusa, if you love the Torah and you love Hashem, so the Torah loves you. He said it's like a mashal, a babysitter is trying to calm down a baby. For 3 hours, the kid's screaming, yelping. The minute the mother comes, she picks him up. She knows, the baby knows, they understand. There's Ava. We should be Zoicha to Avas HaTorah, and to take this Shavuos to be able to grow and get big musagim in Torah and Avas Hashem.
We are holding now the crucial moment of the Jewish calendar. It is about to be Pesach Sheni. What is the lesson that we can learn from Pesach Sheni? First, it says that the din of Ein Muktam Mucham Torah, that we find in Mitzvah is called Ein Muktam Mucham Torah. There's no chronological order in the Torah, is found by Pesach Sheni. Why specifically there? What was the story of the Pesach Sheni? It was the second year they went out of Mitzrayim. There were Nashim Tmeim Lemeis. According to one man in the Gemara, they were carrying the Reina Shel Yosef, and they came to Moshe Rabbeinu, and they said, Lama Nigara, why should we be shortchanged? Why should it be that we are held back from bringing back a Pesach, such important Korban Pesach? What was the question? They didn't do anything wrong. They had to be Isaac with a Reina Shel Yosef. What is it that they asked for? If a person is potter from a mitzvah, if a person's an honest on a mitzvah, then he can't perform the mitzvah. And Moshe Rabbeinu went and he asked Rabbeinu Shalom. What happened? A new parsha came down, a parsha called Pesach Sheni, that didn't exist. This is a year after Matan Torah. A new parsha, we don't understand that. What we see from over here is a person has to have she'ifas, a person has to have ambitions, a person has to go ahead and have aspirations, desires, has to long for, to yearn for ruchnius. Not to have a Korban Pesach. We are Yitzim Mitzrayim. We go out of Mitzrayim for one reason, to be Makabel the Torah. You want to be Makabel the Torah. And if you don't have that Korban Pesach, we're missing in that aspect of going out of Mitzrayim. They wanted to be Yotzei Mitzrayim, those that go out of Mitzrayim and Makabel the Torah, and they wanted a Korban Pesach. And the Rebbeinu Shalom brought down a new parsha. As difficult as it is to understand that something came down new from the Torah was Kadma L'Olam Tov Tov Kuf Ayin Dal Adairis, a new parsha came down. Ein Muktam Umucha B'Torah. That's something that's unusual. The lesson of Pesach Sheni is for us that no matter what the challenge is, if a person's a tameh, no matter how far he is, how spiritually far he is, he's b'derech rechoika. He's very far from where he should be, but he could get there if he has that yearning, that she'ifas to go ahead and bring himself closer to the Rabbi Shalom. Then the Rabbi Shalom somehow will help him, give him the opportunity to get back on track, to connect himself again. That's what Pesach Sheni is about. Pesach Sheni is in the month of Iyar. Iyar, it says in Poiskim, the Beis Shmuel, is that Iyar is spelled in Shulchan Aruch with two Yuds, Aleph, Yud, Yud, Reish. Avram, Yitzchak, Yankov, Rachel. Meaning, if you look at the Regos of Kivega there, means is that that's what Iyar is about. The Gemara says, Noldo Ziv Sonei Oilim. Chodesh Iyar is called Chodesh Ziv, a month of illumination, a month of tremendous light. The Ovis came into the world. We have to be the recipients of our Ovis. That's Rachel, the recipient of that Kedusha of the Ovis. That's what Iyar is about. And the Mitzvah Shem, if we take advantage of this and we realize that no matter where we're holding, the Bnei Shem says, if you have that yearning, you have that desire, you have those what's called she'ifas. She'ifas, that's what it's about. A person has the right ritzoinus. A rotzen, reish, tzadik, vav, nun. Hashem Shmuel says, Hashem his father, Avnei, if you rearrange the letters, you have tzinar, tzadik, nun, vav, reish, meaning there's a pipeline, the conduit. If you have the rotzen, you have the desire, you have the want to go ahead and become a different person, to become a better yid, to become more over Hashem, to learn more Torah, to do more chesed, the Rebbeinu Hashem somehow going to go ahead and make it seen, make it possible for you. We'll be zocher to this illumination. And I ask all of you to look at the Minchas Chinuch, because over there the Minchas Chinuch writes in the mitzvah of Pesach Sheni that he's writing in the middle. And even though the Gemara says that Pesach Sheni is not for a tzibor, it's only for a yochid, but being that we weren't makriv the Pesach Rishon, then in Mitzvah Hashem, all the tzibor can bring the Pesach Sheni. Ayin Shom, what he says, that's your homework. Maybe we zeicha tataka be makriv bekorov the Pesach Sheni. Kol Tuv.
Okay, the Gemara says that from the bracha, the way a person says his brachas or speaks davens to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that's how one can tell whether he's a Talmid Chacham or not. And the Gemara says when the person asks for a bracha, so then he should ask only partial. He shouldn't ask for everything, because when he asks, he's humble, he feels like a poor person and he'd like to get, but doesn't ask for the world. So the Gemara asks, but doesn't it say, Harchev picha v'amaleu, widen your mouth and I will fill it, which seems to indicate that when a person asks for HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he should widen his mouth, which means he should ask for everything. So where it says, Hahu b'divrei Torah chsiv, that's referring to divrei Torah. When you're asking from HaKadosh Baruch Hu for aliyah and ruchnius, divrei Torah, and kiyum mitzvahs, then you should be harchev picha v'amaleu, then you should open your mouth wide. Now really, the pasuk says, Anoichi Hashem Elokecha, Hama'alcha me'eretz Mitzrayim, Harchev picha v'amaleu. So the pasuk begins, I am Hashem who took you out of Mitzrayim. Not only took you out, but Hama'alcha, that elevated you from Mitzrayim, Harchev picha v'amaleu. And which now the Gemara tells us means that you're supposed to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu for a tremendous amount of ruchnius. As much as you can, you should ask from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So what is the connection between the first part of the pasuk that says, I am Hashem who took you out of Mitzrayim, to the next part which says, when you ask for ruchnius, that you should ask a lot. So the Maharsha explains that the Gemara is saying that Sha'al Tachshov Shlo Ucha L'malei Kol Shalisecha. Don't think, how am I going to ask HaKadosh Baruch Hu that I should be a Talmud Chacham, that I should know the whole Shas, that I should know the whole Shulchan Aruch, that I should be able to know Yerushalayim and Sifra and Sifri. So you'll ask yourself, who am I to be able to ask such a question? Isn't that like asking for too much? So that's what the pasuk says. Anochi Hashem Elokecha Hamalach Me'eretz Yisrael. She'al tachshov shelo ucha l'malei kol shalisecha. Don't think that I can't fulfill. If you really, truly, in earnest, ask for a tremendous amount of ruchnius, don't think that it's out of your bounds and it's out of league, that it won't be able to happen. Hari Anochi Hashem Elokecha Hamalach Me'eretz Yisrael. I am HaKadosh Baruch Hu who took you out of Mitzrayim. Asher ro'is Hashem. You saw there, Hayichelis biyadi, l'malei kol shelisecha b'tevi Torah. You saw by the story of Yetzias Mitzrayim that I could fulfill all your desires in Divrei Torah. Now, where was that fulfilled? We understand Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim, and He took us out with tremendous nisim and meisim. So, Yerucham Olshan explains that Klal Yisrael was on the Memtes Shari Tumah, the lowest level when they were in Mitzrayim. And yet they were able to reach the highest Madrega of reaching to Memtes Shari Tyro by the time they came to Har Sinai. Who could have expected that someone could go from the lowest level to such a high level in 49 days? The answer is that Klal Yisrael strove and pleaded and begged from HaKadosh Baruch Hu and davened from HaKadosh Baruch Hu for siyata d'shmaya, for assistance in this tremendous growth of spirituality. So that's what the Maharsha is saying. That's what the pasuk is telling us. Don't think that if you ask for too much ruchnius, that it's not possible that I should be able to reach such a high madrega, such a high level. But in Anochi Hashem Elokecha Hamalach Me'eretz Yisrael, look historically what happened. That Klal Yisrael was able to, through their tefillos, which the Maharsha specifically says, to be able to fulfill your every desire. If you really strive for ruchnius and daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu for assisting ruchnius, you will be able to reach the highest level possible.
Shavuos, we say in davening, is Yoim Matan Torah. But it's very interesting that the Torah doesn't say in the Torah that Shavuos is Yom Matan Torah. It's almost more interesting that Rosh Hashanah is Yom Hadin, and the Torah doesn't mention in the Chumash open that Rosh Hashanah is Yom Hadin. The two important days, arguably, the day of Yom Matan Torah and the day of Rosh Hashanah. It doesn't say in the Torah that Rosh Hashanah is Yom Hadin, and it doesn't say in the Torah that Shavuos is Yom Matan Torah. Now, to answer the question on Shavuos, I once saw beautiful teretz in the Tzlach why it's a good reason the Torah doesn't mention it. Because Yom Matan Torah it's a machlokes in the Gemara if the Torah was given on Vav Sivan or Zayin Sivan. We assume it was given on Vav Sivan. But Shavuos is not always Vav Sivan. It's not always Vav Sivan Shavuos, because it depends if the months are 30 days or 29 days. Shavuos, as the Gemara says, can be Hey Sivan, Vav Sivan, or Zayin Sivan, depending on the amount of days of Nisan and Iyar. So the Torah can't say that Shavuos is Yom Matan Torah. Now that we made a calendar, we have a fixed calendar, so Shavuos is always Vav Sivan. So in the Siddur, you could say it's Yom Matan Torah Seinu, but the Torah can't declare that Shavuos is Yom Matan Torah Seinu, because Shavuos is not only always fall out of Vav Sivan or always fall out of Vav Sivan. Now this would answer why the Torah doesn't say that Shavuos is Yom Matan Torah Seinu. Doesn't answer the question of Rosh Hashanah. Why doesn't the Torah say the Rosh Hashanah is Yom Hadin? Well, the truth is that there's machlokes in the Gemara. If Adam Nidan B'chol Yom, if we're judged every day, or if we're judged only on Rosh Hashanah, there's 4 shittas in the Gemara. When is the Yom Hadin? But I would also suggest, perhaps, that we want the focus of Rosh Hashanah to be Malchus, that we're Mamlech Hashem. We notice that in the davening Rosh Hashanah, we don't ask for our own things. It could be the Torah deletes the idea that it's Yom Matan Teresenu, so she would focus on making Hashem a Melech rather than worrying about our own din. Thank you.
Die Welt sucht, dass ich wenn ein größer Gewirr. Wenn ein größer Gewirr ist ein ganz Yeshiva, rückt sich Tachusen. Ich darf den besten Buch auf Yeshiva. Ich will ihm aufgilden. Ich will ihm aufgießen mit Gold für Kopf bis Fies. Ich darf den besten Buch haben. Dem Estrik für Yeshiva. Oder Yeshiva mir tut, ja, ich hab den Buch, der Estrik für Yeshiva. Der Gewirr gegangen und genommen den Buch, weißt du, der Estrik. Erst dachte er, Rabbi geführt zu seinem Stutt. Noch als Schuss noch fahren Rasen als Schuss noch Rabbi geführt zu seinem Stutt. In der Tacke gegossen auf den Gold. Ich wusste nicht, dem gib mir ein Palaz an dir allein. Und hat ihm gegossen mit Gold, mit Silber und alles Ding. Als ich komme Shavuos bei Jom Teuven, hat sich der Gewirr gedreht, mit dem Chusen zu der rechten Seite, sagt alle, wenn du bist ein Mann Chusen. Wer ein Mann Chusen? Das ist ein Mann Chusen. Und alle, die ganze Hölle, hat er gegeben, Kuba, die Korik, die da, tsch, das ist Chusen, das ist ein Chusen, psch. Arriba gegangen, 6, 7 Chulushim, frage der Chusen, der Chitten, so genau, Tachlis, bist du, wie deine Tochter, wie die Kalle, wenn wir chassen. Sagt er, keine Tochter, hab ich nicht, Lemaß. Ich hab noch nicht keine Tochter. Du hast keine Tochter, du reißt den Kopf, du sagst den Scheinig, und reißt den Kopf. Ich dachte, du da alle Aschiren, du nicht, du drehen sich Harim mit der Chusen, rechte Saat, er sagt Kuvet, ich hab mehr Geld für sich, ich wollte den Kuvet doch, ich hab Chusen zu der Saat. Sag Gelächter. Dasselbe Gelächter kickt aus den Gemann. Greizt sich Harim, greizt sich mit Käskirchen, mit Blimmen, schert sich up, mit was noch, mit Blinches, mit Cheesecake, wie heißt das? Cheesecake, mit Wus nicht, greizt sich mit alles Ding. Greizt sich mit Käskirchen, mit Wus ist, Rabbi, wie die Kalle. Wie die Kalle. Dasselbe Wertel, mit dem Chusen. Schert sich up, die greizt sich wie die Teure. Wie? Alle machen. Letzte Pinge der Gewirr. Alle Aschire haben Chusen zu rechter da. Will ich auch nach Chusen zu rechter da. Letzte Mal mit der Gewirr. Sei sich mit Beine und dann gib mal ein Tee, gib sich ein Kocher ran in heißen Tucker ran.